Well, we had a tough time with that, didn't we? By the way, Vivian leveled up, so just for the sake of it, it was like, BAM! Why not just bring back her ice spell? I upgraded it so that it does the AoE now. Just seems like a better complement since Dorian has the fire spells to throw an ice spell around for Vasti Shatters, a little variety there, because we're seeing more and more enemies that are resistant to that kind of thing. A supply cache. Interesting, because I definitely need that at this point. Wow. AI immediately is on top of healing. Wow. I didn't realize they could heal that fast. I wonder if that was patched or if I'm just misremembering. Because that was a almost shockingly fast response time on that heal. Is there anything stashed back here? Nothing? I think we're coming up on a camp location, though. Judging from the map I saw. I might have to backtrack a little bit because I think I might have missed a gear somewhere for that previous side area door. But hey, having a camp means I have a nice little checkpoint here, so I can safely do that kind of thing, and it's not a big deal.
That's the last of those, Darkspawn. Legion's in your debt, Inquisitor.
Look at this, Ren. It's ancient. Maybe 1,000 years old.
Any idea who built it, or why?
This Tig is on top of a lyrium mine. According to the memories, the mine was destroyed by some unexplained disaster. The miners must have used this lift to reach the lower levels.
I'm starting to see a trend.
If there is a Titan causing earthquakes, it's down there.
I found this book with the emissary. The pages are mostly ruined, but a few are readable. See this line? I awoke to the singing stone. Our kingdom trembled at the Titan's hymn.
That reference to singing stone. I've been told that raw lyrium has a sound.
A hum. The mining cast follows it to find lyrium veins. They say it's the stone calling to them.
Perhaps it wasn't chance that the quakes destroyed lyrium mines. Is it possible the Darkspawn or their emissary could also hear the song?
The stone would never call to those vile things. But that doesn't mean they can't hear her.
Darkspawn live and die by the Blight. They don't care for much else.
I didn't realize you knew so much about Darkspawn motives.
Not everything's a mystery, Volta. Some things are exactly as they appear.
And some things are not.
If similar quakes happen then, the people who lived here may have found a way to stop them.
I see no solution in the text, but it's practically dust. We're lucky any words survived.
Half a poem. Just what we needed.
Perhaps this will change your mind. Look here. It's the royal seal of Orsec Garal.
King Orsec Garal? That book belonged to a paragon? Maybe you are onto something, Volta.
Of course you'd take a dead man's word over mine. Always the traditionalist.
Hey, challenging tradition lost you a cushy position in Orzammar.
Does a king's book mean that much to you, Ren?
Paragons are the best of our people. They don't hand that title out to just anyone. Not even a king. Knowing it was Garal's book from the start would have saved us an argument.
As if you'd ever avoid an argument.
What does he mean you lost your position? I thought you were a Shaper.
Not all Shapers have the same duties. Mine were adjusted. When my superiors ordered me to remove an official record from the memories, I declined. We decided it would be best if I served the Shaperate here, finding history instead of recording it.
That record must have been important, to risk your position over it.
It was trivial, actually. A childhood friend of King Balin had ancestral ties to the Carta. But the truth is the truth, no matter how political it may be.
The Shaperate can erase official records. Aren't the memories permanent?
Sometimes erasing records is standard procedure. If a dwarf becomes castless, they're struck from the memories. But I was asked to change a fact that someone important merely found inconvenient.
Understandable. Yesterday's all the rage is today's embarrassment.
If the Shaperate is willing to erase memories, what would prevent them from covering up the existence of Titans?
Why would they do that?
Because someone in power demanded it.
It takes courage to challenge authority.
I suppose you would know. Some believe the past is what we make it. But we gain nothing from ignoring mistakes.
I'm sorry I brought it up. The earthquakes are what matters. I don't know where this lift leads, but we're about to find out the hard way. Get ready.
That's definitely rough, dealing with the idea that just powerful people just don't want to deal with certain things being around, so why not just get rid of them? That makes it easy. That was a weird location for a supply cache, considering the camp is going to be right up here, which also refills your supplies. Or at the very least, yeah, because you can rest here, and it works as a teleportation spot. Speaking of which, I'm going to take this moment to do a little off-camera work. I'm going to teleport back, and I'm going to just get some inventory cleaned up. God damn. The quartermaster back upstairs definitely sells... They have to give you a lot of money for some of these items. Like 50% of my current budget worth of money just thrown at you. Although it's hard to... It's almost hard to care though, because the game's like so over at this point that... I guess if you still had more to do, it might help you, but... This is probably its position to be done late game. Well... Unlike the Hack-On DLC, this actually might be sort of placed as being something you could do mid-game instead. Well, we unlocked a couple new expeditions around here. Deep Roads Expeditions, Hindred Tig Central Bridge. I bet that's going to be where I find one of those gears that I'm currently missing, so I can proceed. The Inquisition has discovered an interesting artifact halfway down the ruins of Hydron Tig. A construction team could build a bridge that grants access to the large monument in the center of the cavern. Connections. With one letter to the University of Orlais, can have scholars clamoring to help pay for the construction of a bridge to this monument. Don't dwarves not like people coming in from Orlais in their deep roads? Or maybe they don't care about the deep roads as much. Secrets. I can assign a few scouts to the area around the monument to keep the construction effort clear of unwanted attention from the deep roads. And forces. Experienced soldiers should accompany the construction team in case unforeseen dangers around the artifact. These seem to say the same thing every time, and they also all seem to be 3 parts of one larger picture. Like, only one of them ever actually talks about building anything, the other ones talk about guarding it in different ways. Like, I think I'm just going to continue to just act like all 3 of them are happening at once, or just maybe don't try to look into it as a decision. I don't think it affects anything at all, actually. The construction team has completed the bridge halfway down the ruins of Hydron Tig that would allow Inquisition forces to explore the large monument in the center of the cavern. Alright, we'll take a look at that. This is all stuff along the way of that huge gauntlet I had to go through. And here's the lower bridge. The Inquisition has identified an ancient dwarven ruin near the darkspawn nest at the bottom of Hydron Tig. A bridge could be built to access this ruin. Let us ensure that the construction team has supplies they need to build the bridge quickly before the darkspawn notice. That's closer. That's an extra detail that actually makes sense as opposed to we're gonna build something. An agent knowledgeable about the deep roads can keep the construction team away from the worst of the darkspawn nests. Don't they just go everywhere though? Our troops know how to handle darkspawn that might threaten the construction efforts. Maybe go with secrets? I still don't think these decisions matter though. The construction team completed a bridge near the darkspawn nest of the ruins of Hydron Tig that will allow Inquisition forces to explore the ancient dwarven ruin at the bottom of the cavern. Make sure to be well equipped for a fight. So I think that might be a whole extra side area of combat, and I assume the Abyss is still the place we've never been to, so there's nothing new there. Alrighty. I've decided to bring Varric along for the ride because he is the dwarf, so I might as well bring him in. Sarah doesn't necessarily have much of a place here, and because there's some weapons, there's some upgrades for Bianca that make it a bit more versatile than it was before. But first of all, dude needs some gear, so let's look into this real quick. Give myself bonus armor, sure. Anything better than just armor though? Dragon scales, that's the best I can get there. Or lurker scales, which is something that's probably a bit less precious. Ice dragon hide. I could probably only get the maximum value from dragon scales, can't I? That's fine. I still have a lot left. Wouldn't be surprised if I fight another dragon in this DLC too. Cold resistance, ranged defense is probably going to be the go-to thing. There's an 11%. Any better ranged defenses? Just the 11, I think. Alright, we'll stop at 11 then. The lurker scales. Is this the same? This appears to be basically the same thing. A heal bonus doesn't hurt. Or certain resistance types. Magic defense is probably going to be the go-to. That's a 9% there. 10%. It's probably as good as I'm going to get if I want to use up my nether. I wish it wouldn't jump in location based on its like alphabetization and stuff like that, because it's trying to keep track of whether or not a number is moving, and it's both changing the name and moving on the list. I'm like, come on, man. Trying to be concise here. Even more range defense, taking me up to, that's a bonus of 9 right there. Range defense probably doesn't hurt. One of the biggest things that hurts my rangers is often getting shot by enemy archers. So it looks like the lurker, I think, was the best I'm gonna get there. Yeah, go for it. What can I get from these stats? Chance of masterwork. I can still get 100% because I've still never used the Essence of Perfection. But I feel like there's got to be a good stat, right? Let's see. Bonus damage from nearby enemies? Nope, that doesn't even happen. Chance to use Unbowed on a hit. Not terrible, because that's a skill that gives you guard. Bonus damage if you're not getting hit. That's also not a bad idea, because that means you get a bonus from just being in the distance. Oh, bonus to focus gain. Chance to drop caltrops on a hit. Also not a bad idea as a defense. Mind Blast reduces your defense. 10% chance to Grand Walking Fortress. Hey, bonus maximum stamina. Also not a bad idea. Okay. I'm gonna go with the 10% chance of using Hidden Blades on a hit for 5 extra hits. Because that's a pretty significant damage boost in the middle of a combo. I am ranged DPS after all. Alright, Varric. I christened thee Bianca's cousin. Oh, this is stupid. Alright, now Bianca's pretty upgraded. This one took a while, so I skipped ahead a lot. But you have to manually craft a lot of these components here. So, we have a scope with 27% bonus crit. A grip with 28 bonus dexterity. Compound crossbow arms, already had these. I didn't have to craft them, but they're like the biggest bonus I've ever seen for this piece of gear at giving it 113 extra damage. Nearly 50% bonus against arms and sunder on hit. Then I gave him a Master Cleansing Rune for 32 damage against Corrupted, which makes sense not only for the... it makes sense mechanically for this area because we're going through a Darkspawn area, but it also makes sense for Varric specifically because he has an aversion to red lyrium and corruption in general, so having the Cleansing Rune in his weapon makes a lot of sense for his character, as far as I can tell anyway. And the result is this weapon being scarier than I thought it could be, because I thought that it was doomed to be pretty weak forever, but it has 215 DPS with added 158 damage plus 32 against Corrupted, 27% critical damage bonus, 28 dexterity, 48% guard damage bonus, and 27% sunder on hit. We have a little document just sitting here by the beds. The Eternal Battle, Darkspawn. Unless there's a blight, surfacers reserve the Darkspawn for cautionary religious lessons and bedtime stories. That is a luxury Orzammar cannot afford. Without the Legion of the Dead's continuous efforts, our great Tig would have undoubtedly been lost to the blighters long ago. Still, the question remains, where did these monsters come from? It's a given that the Chantry's beliefs about the Darkspawn's origins are nonsense. They were not cast down from a fabled city. They crawled up from deep recesses of the earth. We know that Darkspawn come from broodmothers. Perhaps at the very heart of our world sits a queen, the First Mother. Instead of focusing on the children, we should target the broodmothers and ensure that future reinforcements will never be born. Written in the margins are 2 sets of handwriting, presumably from Lieutenant Wren and Shaper Valta. Chopping off their heads should do the trick. right in one of my books again, and it's your head at risk, Lieutenant. It's a bit of an escalation there. Alright, so that's a rather scenic... Is that an elevator? Looks like it is. What is up here, though? We came from that doorway, so what's up slope? I want to take a look at this before we move on, because I want to backtrack a bit to find what we've unlocked by finding those certain bridges. Is this going to be another geared door? Amulet of Constitution? Look at that, I can just pick up stuff at random. Because now I'm sitting at like, I think 4 out of 90 slots in my inventory instead of like 85 out of 90. So suddenly it's no big deal to just grab whatever I want to. It's funny how once they added, like, that stash was not there when I played through this game originally, and that was a problem. Because I'm used to just having this full inventory all the time, but now I can just take all those, like, amulets and rings and belts and upgrade items that I don't necessarily need to keep around ever, normally. And I can just throw them all in that chest in the upgrade room and move on. Dwarven mugs. Everard's experience. This cup is cracked. It has clearly seen action and no longer holds ale without leaking. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm 70 minutes into this recording. This is a long one. Alright. So we need 5 gears. Just like we need at the other location. Okay, so we need 5 gears. And we need to figure out where they could be. My go-to... Oops. Oopsie. I'm gonna say they're probably having something to do with the, yeah, that's the same... Is that the same lift again? Collected for the 8th gate. Collected for the 7th gate. So there are 2 separate gates with their own gear requirements. Interesting. Well, we're gonna backtrack through the level now because we've done 2 operations on this floor in earlier parts of the area. And we're gonna see what I can gain access to in those zones. Right off the bat, I'm curious, because looking at the map, let's get in this chamber first. Also, keep pinging for gears. It kind of looks like this keeps going. No, not there, I guess. Is it around the corner? Like right up here, it looks like. Or did I already fight my way through that? I'm trying to remember. It's been a few days since the last recording. I think I might have already oh yeah, I think I came down here and there was a cave, and I think one of those guys, yeah, one of those guys chased me all the way here, which I thought was going to make the whole fight easier, but then it turned out to not be that big of a deal. Alright, so backtracking time. Oh, that's interesting. I'm here back at the area where we were doing the whole survival wave thing. You recognize this is one of the places where the archers were. This place is really nasty looking, and there's just a giant bridge here. So that probably goes somewhere significant. Maybe a place where I can find some gears. Be careful not to skip anything. Thank God for sliding down ladders and the ability to edit out the return trip when I probably have to walk up them very slowly. But you guys don't have to see that part, right? Is that another gate? Oh, another mug. Dwarven mugs. Lost memory. World's best shaper is stamped into the side of the mug in an obnoxious script. Well, some people have children and they love them, and you know. And some people don't, I guess. Oh! And those are the people that write obnoxious. Schematics and gray items to sell. Ooh, that's probably a gear. So do I have to pick which door I want to open with these? Like, this looks like a spot, too. So now can I not open... Yep, it says gears collected for the 7th and 8th gate all over again. So now now that I open this gate, I can't open the 7th and 8th gates till I find even more gears. Alright. I'll just have to keep track of them. Thankfully, they're all kept track of in one quest, so at least that's something. Makes that part a bit easier. You might notice that my whole team has been color-coded a bit differently now. My character's all covered in volcanic rock materials. Hey, bad guys. Everyone's got their own little appearance now. Vasti's covered in, like, this volcanic rock material and brown, like, velvet-type materials. There's Ren. Dorian's got this red and green thing going on. There's Varric with his hyper-upgraded Bianca. Mostly purple with a few, like, shiny highlights. And I just went full, like, chromed gold with Vivian because obnoxious Orlesian character. Just make her appearance fit her behavior. That'll help visually distinguish them a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, hey bunch of bad guys. That's a lot of corpse archers in there. Let's take a look at Varric. Since, to some extent, I'm like, how does this character work? Because it's been so long. I need to, like, make some... Oops. I probably can't even hit them from here. Shaper, you want to help us at all? There we go. Some damage is happening in there. It's hard to tell who's doing what. Hard to tell who's doing what at this point. Explosive shot. That's probably the right thing to do here. So some noteworthy thing is that he's got 2 crit amulets on him right now, which should be handy for damage. But he's also got a so that's an AoE. That's less effective for that purpose then. On top of his 2 crit amulets, he has something that reduces cooldowns, which is handy for just being able to use his abilities more frequently as a DPS character. Let's do an AoE poison, if that even works. It's probably they're probably all immune to it, huh? Explosions. As usual, I'm really not sure how much damage I'm doing as Varric. There's so many enemies around here. Look at all those bouncy, crazy critical things. Whoa, crazy, yeah. I don't know what's happening. Freaking deadly poison knives. Whee! More explodey balls. If nothing else, it's just fun to fill the room with crazy, dangerous, exploding things. Yay! Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry? At least he looks pretty cool, but I figured I should bring him along. Should have brought him along from the get-go and done this all in advance, really, before getting this far in. Because yeah, he's probably the one character that'll likely have something to say. Kind of expected everyone to have something to say all the time, but this is a pretty story-light one. He's probably the most relevant party member to bring along, since everyone's pretty content to be quiet so far. No, a Bianca upgrade. Might not be better than what I already have, though. Alright. New requisition. Alright. I don't think that's a new expedition. I think that's just... yeah, we just claimed this little corner for some more influence and power. Time for that return trip I was talking about. Hey there, freaky monument. We went and repaired that bridge. By the way, that series of ladders I had that looked all new and everything that I used to get to the last spot was also... that was the other thing that I did on the map. So it was a little silly of me to be like, oh look, there's ladders here, I wonder how they got here. It's because I totally did that. Although that was a while ago for me, because I did spend a pretty long time scavenging through items and building things for Varric and stuff like that. So like I kind of forgot about the details of what the of what I did on the map, which was like, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes ago for you. But for me, that was probably a good hour ago for me. Oh well. Hey ladders. Where are you taking me? Is it just a landmark? Nothing different? Hopefully a few gears maybe? Like 6 of them? Because I have a deficit right now of 11, I think? Yeah, jeez. I've found 3 separate gates that each has some kind of requirement of gears. And I've not been finding a lot, and I feel like I've been checking it pretty consistently around. Which, maybe I'm just gonna find way more deeper down, and I'm gonna have to, and then I'll have to come back up with them or something. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe I really am just a fuck-up and I haven't been even finding them this whole time. Claimed. Monument to Hydron the Deep. This lonely podium is carved from a stone pillar reaching up in the darkness. From the inscription, Paragon Hydron's remains are entombed here under a massive stone likeness of the legendary dwarf. At this vantage point, it is hard to appreciate the scope of the tribute. That is true. When you're on top of it, it's kind of hard to tell how big it is. Go figure. Looked pretty goddamn big from everywhere else, though. I don't think you have to worry about people being able to see it or not. It's a bit of an ordeal to get here, and you get a pretty good look at how absurd it looks. Orzammar artifacts. Love me, Orzammar. Love me. Look at me, I'm collecting artifacts for you. Please stop getting mad at me because I tried to negotiate that one time. Orzammar. Orzammar senpai. Alright, welcome back to the camp we established at the beginning of the episode. Varric's gear is all set up. We checked in on some of the loose ends and some of the things that we did with the whole... wow, my brain. war table aspect. Sorry, I've just been staring at spreadsheet numbers for a while, looking at going through the upgrades and everything. It's almost hard to just form sentences all of a sudden. Might as well do a quick look around this back area. Really? You don't have a single gear for me back here? I feel like I'm missing so many of them. Oh well. Let's find out what's going on with this lift. Swing! That was safe. Make sure you do that at home, kids. What's the lever for? We must be going to that abyss that the war table's been telling us about. Forgotten caverns. Alright, time to take bets on whether or not everyone comes out of here alive. The deep, dark pit. The bottom of the world.
What was that?
What was what?
Something moved. There. Light a torch.
So I can see us coming? Just stay close.
Alright, welcome to the survival horror aspect of this level. You feeling creeped out yet? Oh. Blue glowy eyes. It appears. So what is it? They keep blinking out as I approach. Yeah, that's plenty creepy. Is this going to be a new monster, or just something we've seen before in a different context?
I don't wish to alarm anyone, but I believe we've all gone blind.
We've gone past the deep roads.
How can you tell? It's pitch black.
I can feel it.
So this is the abyss. This is what's at the bottom of the comically long elevator. Is this the part of the world that Thedas has forgotten? Is this the deep chasm of that incredible rift at the bottom of the ocean in real life? The part of the world we don't understand? By the way, no complaints about the video being dark. That's just what this looks like.
Show yourselves!
Ren!
Not at all.
No!
What do we have here? So Ren's immediately wounded. I wouldn't be surprised if he's mortally wounded. Looks like matching with the story he's starting at pretty low hit points too. What are these things? Shah Britol Reverend Defender. These are new, right? I don't think this is something we've seen before. They seem like they're short looking. It's hard to tell from this perspective how tall things are, I guess. They could be human size instead of dwarf size. Definitely short compared to my character. They have straight up guns that shoot some sort of almost like lyrium bolt type things. They're definitely crossbow variations, so Varric's gonna be at home here. I guess we'll focus fire on the big nasty melee dude to start things off. What's back here? Oh yeah. Those are lyrium lines. Is there gonna be like lyrium circuitry around here? I think we're finally seeing something new. Let's make a mess. Part of the question here is whether this might turn out to be the... Okay, Vasti, go ahead and use Walking Fortress. You are not generating guard right now. Warcry. And challenge to the defender. There we go. That's how you get guards. You don't just straight up die like that, Vasti, you silly. We can use barrier. Where's Vivian? Because Vivian's taking damage. She's somewhere in here, right? Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and throw an ice spell in here with Vivian. Oops, no. Throw an ice... No, Winter's Grasp. Oh, right. Winter's Grasp is a targeted spell, not an AoE spell, huh? Even though I've upgraded it to be an AoE spell, as shown there. Trying to just reduce their actions a bit there to make it a more manageable encounter. Is our next defender to target? Let's see, Dorian. How am I doing on the... Oh, you have bees. Right, I forgot to give Varric confusion grenades. We can work with it though. Let's see. Vivian, bubble up. And Varric's down in that exact moment. Okay. Dorian, you can get on top of that. Ah, Vivian cast it too, didn't she? Yeah, and it counted even though... Damn it, it let them both cast it? That's unfortunate. Anyway. You're buried right now, so we can probably make you... Oh, are you dead? You are a dead Dorian. Alright, we'll get you back up in a moment, even though we've already spent your goddamn healing potion, unfortunately. Trying to get an AoE effect into the middle of that crowd. As Vasti is hopefully focusing on this guy. Knock him on his ass. Make a mess! One last defender to deal with. So we'll be losing... Oh wait, is he alive? No, he's still a ghost. I got confused because he had hit points all of a sudden, which was a weird sight to see. Alright. Varric. Take some manual control for a little while. Let's blow things up a bit. There we go. Get some bouncing shots in there. For some real damage. Long shot. Full draw, I mean. There we go. Killing blow. Oh, Vivian just went down. Alright, well... Manually pick up Dorian. I was about to revive Dorian with Vivian, that's why I wasn't immediately reviving people. That's fine. Do it the old-fashioned manual way, and in a moment, Dorian should just automatically revive Vivian anyway. Yeah, I think this bow is more or less holding its own weight now. Bam! How's that for some damage, buddy? Alright, Vasti, for the love of God, use Walking Fortress. Where is Vasti? He's just hanging out up here. Is your AI paused? I hope not. Here, just go, everyone make a big old mess of this last guy. Should be the only one left. And Dorian is really hoping you'd be smart enough to just revive... Okay. Get in line of sight. Revive Vivian. Alright, fine, I'll take manual control. Oh, it's over.
You deserved better. Ren never wanted this life. He was a cobbler, a good one. He joined the Legion to pay his father's debts. It kept his mother and brother from losing their caste. The poor and desperate here often sacrifice themselves for their family's future.
Ren was a good man. We'll honor his sacrifice.
He always seemed indestructible. The armor on these warriors. There's lyrium woven directly into the metal, and it's bonded to their skin. impossible to remove. But I know what we'd find underneath. These are dwarves. Ren was killed by our own kind.
They don't look like any dwarves I've ever met.
Me neither. It just doesn't make sense. We've done nothing to them. I won't leave Ren like this. We must return him to the stone. Thrust Tonsha Saroka. I'll see this through, Ren. I promise. Anything standing between us and the Titan will regret it.
I think I know where we're going with this. You see, earlier we got our first glimpse at Dalish elves late on in the campaign. And I think that was kind of the point, was to be like, here's this trapped in an ancient time society, because this whole series is about generations and about the past and about the legacy of this world and what caused the blights and everything like that. So like we got to meet the old Dalish clan that's been just stuck there guarding this one ritual, not even fully understanding the god that they thought they were worshipping, because Solus was right there and was that god, and even he was like, yeah, they're worshipping a specter, an imaginary thing that isn't even represented by anything. Now we're gonna find, I believe, an isolated clan of dwarves, ones that didn't make it to Orzammar during the first blight when everything got wiped out. They have been locked underground all this time, and they haven't had continual contact with elves and humans in the surface. They've just been underground for hundreds, thousands of years, and they're just, there's this little time capsule of culture, and it could be the worst. Lieutenant Wren. Scribbled notes between Lieutenant Wren and Legionnaire Bernat. Lieutenant Wren. Sir, I reviewed our request for supplies as your second. I am duty-bound to point out the absurd amount of ale listed, unless we have resorted to drowning the Darkspawn. Respectfully, Legionnaire Bernat. Bernat? Don't be ridiculous. There's no such thing as an absurd amount of ale. Wren. You have requested more barrels than we have legionnaires. Can't even let a dead man have some fun. Fine! Reduce the number of barrels to half. But I expect Tapster's quality, not the piss they sent last time. I will make sure the Crown is aware that the ale is for the esteemed Lieutenant Wren, Vanquisher of Darkspawn, Hero of the Fifth Blight, and what was the other title I always forget? Owner of the boot in your ass, Salroka.